It's 3BW, Sisters in Love and Strength.
I'm Christina, the youngest sister here to make you laugh.
I'm Sherry, the outspoken, no nonsense nurse and middle sister.
And I'm Lisa, the oldest sister, ready to see what happens next. Every day we navigate busy families, husbands, friends, and exes. We've experienced it all, y'all, and we want to share our lessons learned with you.
Our motto is hindsight is 2020, and we're here to provide our viewpoints on what happened, where we went wrong, and how we can learn from it.
Join us as we share our stories, laugh at our mistakes, and learn together. We want to hear from you too.
Hey,
What's up?
how is everybody?
Can you get closer?
How is everybody?
I can't hear you.
Everybody's good.
You can't?
Mm-mm.
I don't know what to tell you.
Can you hear her?
Yeah, you really can't
Okay.
hear her?
I really can't, but I guess it doesn't matter.
You ain't missing none.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, wow.
What's going on?
I don't have anything exciting.
I have something that we could share.
What?
So my daughter's birthday is
Coming.
coming up on the 27th.
Riley?
Yeah, and she wanted a hamster.
I
I was dead set against getting a hamster, but
Why? You used to have them.
Sherry pushed it.
I did. I did used to have a hamster when I was little. But so my husband got her a hamster, and then she asked to have it early. So last week we went and got her a hamster, got the cage, had everything all
You got
together.
her two.
We got her a hamster.
You got her
hamster.
one. Okay.
Yeah, and then I say 2 days later, he ran away. Yeah, she was playing with him, and he ran in a
For the hills.
hole in our kitchen that was like our furniture, like the double oven.
Mhm.
Underneath there was a hole, and he went in it, and we haven't seen him since.
Did you cook them?
That's what I was getting ready to say. If you used that oven and he got stuck under there, that's why he never came
Well,
back.
It has two drawers underneath the oven, and I pulled it out, and it has a bottom.
So you can see clear through to the bottom, to the
You
floor.
can't see the bottom. I can't see the floor. I see the bottom of it's a cabinet. Like you would open up any cabinet, it has a bottom to it. So he's underneath that.
Mm.
Yeah, and we did see him, and we heard him for a couple days, and just slowly, he's gone.
Yeah, he probably got stuck and then starved to death.
Well,
Oh
maybe.
my God, you got a dead hamster under your stove?
Yeah, no, we have a dead hamster in our
Oh my
walls.
gosh.
Yeah.
I thought you got her too. That's why I see another hamster.
Well, we went back yesterday and got her a new one,
Oh.
so she can kill this one too.
Did she have a ball for her hamster that she can put him in?
That's what she
No.
should have had.
Right.
No, we decided against the ball because they don't make them big enough. So when they're in there, they're little slots so they can breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Their foot gets stuck in them and they break
Mm.
their foot. So we decided
Ooh.
not to get a ball at all. Like my husband he did this whole research on
We-
this thing.
We had a ball.
We had a ball.
Yeah, we had a lot of things. Hence is why they are.
No, yours got loose.
Yeah.
That's why theirs.
Your daughter came by it, honestly.
Yeah, she did. But mine's always came back. His name is Sparky. He would always leave and he would always come. But we left the cage open. But he would always leave and come back. And one day he came back and his back was broken.
And he was dragging his back leg.
His butt,
Dragging,
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
eventually he left and never came back.
Yeah.
Probably
But come
couldn't
to
get
find
back after
out-
that.
Huh?
He couldn't get back after that.
Yeah, well, we took him to the vet and the vet was like, eventually he is going to leave and not come back because he's going to go to die. And that's what he did. That's what I
Wow.
remember and mind you, I'm like 9 or 10. So
Yeah.
who knows? But yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
we did.
remember.
We did take
But
them.
who leaves their cage open so their hamster
9 and
can go and
10-year-olds.
come as they please?
9 and 10-year-olds do.
Wow. You guys are special.
And mine was the sweet one and Sherry's was mean. She
Yeah.
always bit. Her name was
Brandy.
Brandy.
Sparky and Brandy. I remember them.
Sparky was so sweet. And so was the one that we had. He was so sweet. Oh my gosh, he didn't bite. He was so loving. Even though we only had him for like 3 days.
Yeah, he
So, have you ever thought about how many pets we've had, like in our lifetime between the three of us?
What pet you had?
I know.
I had a guinea pig.
Did
I had
you?
hamsters. I had a
Did you?
guinea pig. I had 2 rabbits.
With
In our
I had
house?
cats. I said in our lifetime.
Oh.
I had
Oh,
yeah.
no.
2 cats.
You
no,
had
we
a
had
whole
4
community.
Cats. 4 cats.
Yeah.
I had 3 dogs.
20 dogs.
No, you had about 50 million
No,
dogs.
I think I've had 3 dogs.
20.
At least
No,
20.
4 dogs.
At least
4
20.
dogs. Yeah,
20.
whatever.
And then you had about 25 cats.
I had a bunch of cats.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as much as I love cats, I can't stand them in my kitchen, and that's always been a problem.
I see your future.
Cat lady.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Cat
No.
lady. You gonna hurt
I
yourself.
don't know what I'm going to do when Charlie leaves.
You're going to get a cat.
I have been a parent since I was 23 years old.
That's your problem.
So when she leaves,
You can't add on. You
whatever
cannot.
dog I still have, which will most likely be Chanel.
Doubt
I don't
that.
foresee her going anywhere.
I do.
She's lying.
Right?
Stop lying to these people.
No, I mean, because I've really invested in Chanel. So I
Invested
just
what?
don't.
Time? Money?
Not just time, money.
Okay.
I've
That
invested
love.
a lot of money.
Lisa,
So look,
you have invested a lot of money in a few dogs.
not like Chanel though.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
This will be we will return to this conversation.
We
and we
sure
will let
will.
people know that Chanel is now gone.
But you know what? I've now had Chanel over a year. It's
Oh.
on. It'll be 2 years in March.
Well, that is
She's
an
the
improvement.
longest. She's the longest that you've had.
Yeah.
What about Asher? How long did you have Asher?
I had Asher for about a year.
Okay. Okay, so we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Chanel's a good dog. That's why.
It's not
She's
the
a
dog.
really good dog.
It's really not the dog.
It's you.
Look, I can't hear you. Can we
It's-
move on?
Really
Can we move
not
on?
the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. If we come back here in about another 6 months and you still have Chanel, I was really trying to think what I could do, but I don't really think I need to.
If she still has Chanel, I'm gonna have to find out if this even Lisa sitting in front of us. Like this might be
Look,
like whole body snatcher
I
situation.
keep trying to get you guys
To take
to
on.
adopt Chanel.
Exactly.
That's how it starts.
But
That's how
I'm
it
not,
starts.
like I said before, I'm not going to let her go to anybody else. But if one of you guys want to adopt her, I'm absolutely okay with it.
Oh my God. Okay.
And see, you're okay with us, and then it's gonna get a little bit more where you're gonna start being okay with somebody else outside the family.
You need to have
No, it's
about
not.
20 dogs
But
already.
You know what? The problem that
Me?
I'm having,
Nuh-uh.
the problem that I'm having with Chanel, though, honestly, is that when she did hurt her leg that one time, when we first got Chanel, they said that she's a Havanese poodle mix. And the breeder said that they do have issues with their legs coming out of the socket. You know, it's just known for that
Yeah.
breed.
Yeah.
But they always pop right back in. So she's fine. But at some point, I feel like she's going to have surgery for that at some point. I don't know when. It could be 3 months from now. It could be 6 years from now. I don't know. But I think at some point that is going to become an issue. And
Okay.
that is when I may consider.
Oh no, she gone. Ain't no May. She gone.
Because I'm not going to be able to afford that type of surgery.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just not.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's always the issue with dogs, like something
Yeah.
with that breed. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, because it happens and it pops right back in and she's fine. She's not crying. You can't tell. It's like 1 minute her leg's up. Then she takes a few steps, is back down, and she's good and running again. You know,
Well-
just never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah. That sucks.
But it doesn't seem to bother her at all.
Well, the quote of the day is don't buy any Havaneses
Havanese poodle
mix because their legs popped out the socket and they'll have to have surgery eventually. And
But they're so cute, though. And they're not big. They're medium to small size. And yeah.
We'll see.
Chanel's cute.
uh-huh. She is. She's cute in a weird way.
In a weird way.
Yeah, she looks weird.
She doesn't.
Okay. So
So I don't have a horse in my house.
I have a horse. You're right, but I'm not saying he's cute either. No, but
Oh goodness.
okay. So the quote of the week: the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. I like that because that is really true.
Mm.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm just saying. True.
Yeah, that's a good quote.
Yeah. Do you feel like you give up your power when you don't think you have any?
Depends on the situation.
Well, I mean, if you don't think you have any, then you are giving up your power.
But
Because
sometimes I
Yeah,
don't.
just the thought itself is you said sometimes I don't. You
like
gave up your power.
like the
I mean,
dogs.
what am I supposed to do if I don't have?
You
If I
always have
don't have
power.
well,
But
no,
you do.
No, you don't always have. Okay, how do you always have the power?
It just doesn't look the way you think it should look, or it doesn't look the way you want it to look. But you
Kind of
have
like you
power.
always have a choice.
I think you
Yeah.
don't always have the power, but you can determine how you react to not having the power over a situation. Let's just say tomorrow.
Listen, where's the cricket?
Let's just say I go out here tomorrow and God, please don't let something like this happen to me. Lord, please, please, please. But
And
I
they just
lose
don't
my
even
job.
speak it.
I don't have the power over that. I lost my job. But how I react to not having that power. So.
And that quote was by Alice Walker. So, guys,
we are going to say to that one.
I have nothing to say. So, we are going to move on to our wonderful podcast for today.
Can I do the imagine this?
Oh, that's right. Look, we lost the power.
Listen, we need hurry up.
Can I do the imagine this now?
Yes, we have a guest.
Oh, goodness.
At least she got it.
Yeah.
We have a guest.
We
can probably skip the imagine this today just because we have a guest.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
No.
Like she's trying to exercise her power.
Yeah.
Denied.
You don't have the power. How are you going to handle that? How are you going to handle that?
Candi? No.
Just start talking.
Okay, so today's imagine this. The coworker told HR I was being exclusive for not inviting her to my wedding. This was honestly one of the weirdest work things I've ever dealt with. There's a woman in my office I'm friendly with, but not close to. We've had small talk here and there, nothing deep. No lunches together, no real outside of work connection. She found out I was getting married and asked when the wedding was. Then she straight up asked if she was invited. I kind of laughed and said, oh no, it's really small, just close friends and family. I didn't think anything of it. She got quiet and a little cold after that, but I figured, okay, maybe awkward moment, whatever. Fast forward a few days later, I get a meeting invite from HR. Turns out she filed a complaint saying that I was being exclusive and creating a hostile environment by leaving people out because I didn't invite her to my wedding that I'm paying for. That isn't even a work-related event. So I had to sit in this HR meeting and explain that I'm not required to invite coworkers I barely know to my literal wedding. This is a personal event that had nothing to do with work or who's in the office. HR honestly looked just as confused as I was. They basically said, yep, okay, thanks, and closed the case. But now she acts super passive-aggressive towards me, like side eyes, like digs when I walk by. Still bringing it up in these weird, sarcastic comments like,
Wow.
Some people are so inclusive these days.
Idiot.
I can't believe she actually thought HR could, make me invite her?
Right.
Some people really do think they're the main character.
For real. And she's
What
just
do you
the
ladies
side
think
chick.
about that?
The side piece in the mill. Hell,
I'm
she's
like,
not
what
even a
the
part of the
hell?
mill. She's not even a part of the mill. She's a worker cooking the mill.
Yeah.
I'm like, what
I
the
mean,
what?
dang.
That's crazy.
Very
I
much
think something
so.
is going on in that young lady's life that she really needs a friend. And she's willing to take it wherever she can get it.
That's probably why she don't have friends.
Yeah, she's including herself in people's weddings.
Who even wants to go to? Who do you know there?
Yeah, like why do I want to? I don't, Lisa.
Well, they do say you go
What'd
to
you say
weddings
my
to
name
find a
for?
husband. So maybe you don't. I don't know, but really. But yeah, why did you say Lisa's name?
I was gonna say if you have another wedding,
She's only had one.
Don't.
And-
Let's not go there. That's right. No, actually, okay. For being honest, I had
she
two
had
weddings.
two. She got married.
Oh, that's right. You did have two weddings.
One had Marines in it.
Yep, and the
And
other one has
swords.
cowboys.
And yeah, and the other one I had cowboy boots.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
I mean, did somebody ask you to be invited to your wedding?
Honestly, I think I invited everybody.
That was a
I think
mistake.
I
No, I'm
invited
joking.
everybody.
Half the
So,
town was there,
yeah,
huh?
if you wanted to come, here's an invite.
And if you missed that one,
Oh, wow.
Oh,
No, she
seriously?
didn't.
Really?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Wow. Did you hear that? That is so wrong.
Wow, I only had 2 weddings.
Yeah, I
Come
know.
on.
I know, but I'm saying there was a part 2 if they missed the first one.
Well, they had to wait a whole lot of time, a lot of years. So,
Well,
yeah.
if it's anything like this lady, she's willing to wait. 'Cause, I mean, she sounds like she has some personal issues.
Yeah.
And it's kind of almost scary.
I think it's crazy that HR even called a meeting to that.
I
Like,
think you
know, right?
have
that was
to,
so
though,
stupid.
right?
I don't even know that I would
think
show
if it's
up.
a complaint
They have to
against you,
investigate it.
then you have to investigate it, even if you're going to close it right away, knowing it's just some BS.
But I'm saying you didn't need a meeting for that. You just could have sent me an email asking me. I mean, I don't even know that I would have went to that for real. The way that I am, probably not. No.
Yes, the way that you are.
That's crazy.
Would you have cursed the girl out once you found out?
Man. I probably wouldn't even have the job no more.
Seriously?
I'm just saying.
I wouldn't even acknowledge her.
And then, but even still, she's still being slick with it.
And I wouldn't acknowledge her. People thrive on that stuff. I wouldn't give them the
Mhm.
pleasure.
Well, I'm not that great.
No.
No, I'm not.
What would Jesus do?
Invite her.
Heal me.
Heal you? Heal you? No, I wouldn't invite her. Hell no. She's
No.
just
You
gonna
said, what
push
would
me.
Jesus do? Jesus invites everybody.
Yeah, but I'm not going to invite her because she went to HR.
But you're not Jesus. I'm saying that's what he would do. Literally.
I would invite her to meet me outside my car.
You know, I would invite her to some type of counseling.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
something is mentally wrong with you. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even have a conversation. We don't conversate. Why do
Yeah.
you think you're entitled to be my personal life?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Audacity.
I know, right?
Crazy.
Yeah, that's special.
Yeah. Like on a spectrum.
Yeah. That's not healthy.
No, not at all.
Okie dokie. So that's the Imagine This. So now we're going to move on to today's episode.
All right. Well, this episode we are going to call.
Can you please talk into your mic?
This episode we are going to call Candi episode. Today we are sitting down with our wonderful cousin whose story is one of pain, resilience, and redemption. She experienced prison, losing her husband during COVID, and being labeled as the black sheep in her own family. Her journey is raw, real, and deeply human. This conversation isn't just about the struggle. It's about survival, healing, and the courage to find her voice when people try to silence you. Whether you have felt shunned, misunderstood, or you just don't belong, this episode is for you. So let's get it. Everybody, I want to I want to introduce you to Candi. You suck.
I'm sorry.
Hi, Candi.
Hey, Candy.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Thanks
Good.
for coming. We're
I'm
so glad that you were willing to come on here and share your experience with us.
How are you
I,
doing?
I'm doing great. I'm actually really doing good. I'm just really proud of you guys. I listen to y'all's podcast every time there's an episode on. I really enjoy them. I think some podcasts, in my opinion, are kind of filtered when you guys are, but y'all's isn't, which makes it a lot more personal and more enjoyable, I should say.
Yeah, well, we only
Aw,
get
thanks.
filtered by Sherry. She'll tell us what we can or can't talk about.
Oh, wow. The big bad Sherry.
Oh. Yeah, but everything is going good. Finally finished school, work, and just life.
So, congratulations to you. You got your
Yeah.
master's, right?
I'm a doctor. I just finished my PhD.
Oh,
I'm in the process of completing a book. I started one. One was it's on grief and the journey of grief. I was told that grief has 12 stages, and anger is like the middle stage. And I'm like, how can you be angry at somebody for passing away? Because it's not like they have control over it, but I've never
Right.
understood.
I
But
feel like they be angry at other things, not
Life.
that person,
Yeah.
like
yeah,
God or.
I was mad at my husband. I really
Oh.
was mad at Eric. I did. I really got like, it was only like for a split second, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's just not fair. It just wasn't fair. And
Yeah.
that's all I kept saying. It was like, he wanted to live to be like 100. And I'm like, 100? 65 is good for me.
Oh,
But,
what?
but yeah, he was like, just like to 100. But yeah, and it's like life shortchanged him in essence. So, but it
Yeah.
wasn't, life be life. And so
It do. It do.
life be life. And
So tell us your story about your husband. So all our listeners.
Eric was like the best. He was a deacon in church, and people were like, "Your husband was a deacon and was married to you." I was like, "Yeah, what does that mean?"
Married to you? Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I like life for me. When I first met Eric, we met in a dating app, and when I first met him, I like stood him up like 3 times. He's like, "I'm not being bothered. I'm
Oh,
not being
wow.
bothered." Yeah, he would go to the restaurant, and I just wouldn't show.
Wow.
gosh, Candy.
You was
Oh my
terrible.
Yeah.
God.
People like, I'm here. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not coming. And I
Oh
was just,
my.
yeah, I was really bad about it. But I had been jaded so bad. So, like dating had jaded me. And it was just like, it's kind of like the same thing. It's like the roller coaster. Like you enjoy the ride for a moment, then it just gets rocky. And then it's like the lies and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I have zero patience for things, zero patience. And I find it really weird for adults to lie. You can't get in trouble. So why are you lying? And if you get
Right.
in trouble, it's only with yourself. And then you have to keep the lie going and going and going and going. So
Amen.
so you're like elongating something that should have never even started to begin with. So it was just a sense of being jaded and just kind of tired of the dating scene. The dating scene, pool, whatever, now it's like a petri dish. It's like really bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Of course you agree.
I mean, I don't even want to be bothered. Really, I
Nope.
don't. It's not even. I don't even have a need anymore. I'm
Mm-mm.
good.
Yeah. And it's bad that it gets like that because it's like you not that you don't have it, but it's like you want more because sometimes you miss the companionship and the conversation and you see your friends or whomever out with the the holding the hands and all of that stuff. I'm like that, and I thought about it. I was like, well, that same hand that's holding her hand could be the same hand that blacks her out tonight. So I look at it
True.
in that retrospect. Um, I work a part-time job and I work at a hospital, and seeing people come in and out of the emergency room with like they're so in love when they come in, and then you go in the back and now you have things you shouldn't have because you've been cheating. Then you have the wife sitting out in the lobby crying and all that other foolishness. So
Oh
yeah,
my God.
dating can be really, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone. That's what I say. Back to Eric. So yeah, so I kind of stood him up. Eric was really quiet, and they say opposites attract. So I was the person that was always attracted to guys that I wasn't sure if they were going to rob me or my mama. Those were like the best type of guys for
Oh,
me.
wow.
And
That
Eric was
was not Eric.
at all totally different, and that's what like I think kind of pushed me away. I was like, all right, well, let's just try it. And he turned out to be my saving grace. Like he really showed me what it was to be the soft girl era per se
Oh,
now, but they
yeah,
take a soft
right?
girl era. Yeah, he
Yeah.
allowed me to put down my guard. He allowed me to be me, no matter. And it's like, no matter all the bad things that have gone on in my life, no matter what it was, he never. He's like, well, life happens, you got to push through. And I was like, okay. So Eric was my biggest cheerleader in my life.
Yeah.
He was like my biggest cheerleader,
Mm.
biggest cheerleader. And I always tell people, it's like, it's like you can't compete when you don't compare. And
Amen.
yeah, and he was the best. And it was like he didn't even see me complete my master's. I earned my bachelor's. He was still living. Um, he passed, of course, He passed December of 2020. So I was in the process of finishing my master's at that time.
Mm.
And then after I got the master's, but one of the things he told me was, he said, if I don't make it out of this is before they put him on a ventilator. And he was like, if I don't make it out of this, you finish school. He said, if you don't do nothing else, finish school for me. So I was like, okay. He said, I mean it. He said, not just your master. He said, you promised me we'll get your PhD. And I was like, yeah, all right. So I was like, but you're gonna come home, you know. He was like, yeah, I know. He said, I'm going home. That's all he kept telling me. He's like, yeah, I'm going home. And I was like, yeah, you're going home, but you're coming home with me. And he was like, yeah, but just finish your PhD. So I was like, okay. Um, and that's what I did. Like, I didn't. That's like the worst thing ever. I shouldn't say it's the worst thing. It's tedious. It's very tedious. It's a lot of reading, and that's like,
Handwriting.
yes. Oh my God. Yeah. So, and I finished it in 3 years. I did it in 3 years. It's like between 3 to 5. I went to Frostburg University, so it's like 3 to 5. So I did mine in 3 years.
What did you
I
get it
wanted it
in?
done. Organizational management within HR, because I'm in HR. So organizational management with a minor in psychology.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, congratulations.
I know, right? That you definitely, my hat's off to you because I can't go back to school. So you go,
Man.
girl.
Especially
Thank
during such
you.
a hard time. Like,
Yeah.
most people would give up, like,
Or at least
or
stop.
take, yeah, like
Take
3
time off.
years. That
Right.
would have took me probably 6.
Shoot, I would have went back.
Or yeah, because that's major to lose somebody so significant, you know.
So
Mhm.
why did you? What happened? Like I don't know. Why did you lose him? Like what was the
He had
reason?
COVID. He passed from COVID. Eric had COVID. So his mom passed April 11th of 2020 from COVID. His dad passed August 7th of 2020 from COVID.
Jeez.
And he passed December 26th, 2020 from COVID.
So
Wow.
what did he have? Hypertension, diabetes? Like what?
He had nothing. He was healthy. He was literally healthy. And they were like, they had made plans for him to come home. So because of the COVID, they had a lot of damage. Eric never smoked, no, like nothing. They didn't drink anything. So our social worker that we had at the hospital, they assigned everybody a social worker that had COVID at that time. So the social worker, she said he's gonna have to have this special bed, and they showed me the picture of this bed. So we ordered the bed so it could be delivered. The bed was actually delivered. Robert Oxygen had bought his oxygen tank, but he was to be discharged to go to this COVID rehab that they had for like a week and a half to teach him how to walk and breathe with the oxygen so that he wouldn't tire himself out, for one, and two, so that the oxygen tank would be able to. Because Eric was 6'9.5" and he was 312. So with his height and his weight, they wanted to make sure it balanced out and make sure that he was able to walk with the oxygen tank and, keep his breathing up, expand his lungs because his lungs had gotten damaged really bad with the COVID. So social worker came out, she looked at the house. Like I said, they ordered our bed, put his bed where it needed to go. Robert Oxygen had come out, set the oxygen up. I got a phone call in the middle of the night. It was like around December 17th, 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 18th. And they were like, your husband's not doing well. We're going to put him on a ventilator, but he wants to speak to you. And the doctor had told us in the very beginning that if he ever went on a ventilator, he would not come off because of the damage of his lungs. So I was like, okay. And I was like, well, what happened? Because he was fine. And they said at that time it was very little known with COVID. And they were like, sometimes they call it a curve. Sometimes you can get into this curve and your body cannot fight to get out of it. And his body at that point was his body had just given up. And I don't want to say his body gave up. I think Eric gave up. And I say that because when they spoke to him and they told him he would have to go on disability, Eric shut down. And he was like, because Eric's always worked. And I remember one of our many conversations, he was like, I don't ever want to be a burden to you. I was like, how are you going to ever be a burden to me? And I was like, you carried me through times when most people would just discarded me. Like I've always, I told him, I was like, I've been discarded in the past. That's just how I felt. And I was like, you carried me through a lot of things that most people would have walked away from. And you would never be a burden to me. So don't say that. And he was like, okay, he's like, okay, but that's just how I feel. And I can't, you have to acknowledge people's feelings. And that's how you feel.
Yeah.
But that's not how I feel. And when you marry somebody, it's for better, for worse, sicker in health, so forth and so on. And I was like, we've had our ups and downs, peaks and valleys, but we've always survived it. So, if disability is what it is and disability is what it is, we'll manage.
Mhm.
It's not like it's a big thing. So, like I say, about the 17th or the 18th, they reached out to me and they were like, he wants to take to you. So I talked to him and he told me, he was like, I'm going to be okay. Um, no matter what the outcome is, he said, I'm going to be okay. He said, I just want to make sure you're going to be okay. And our
Wow.
saying to each other was, as long as I'm okay, as long as you're okay, I'm always going to be okay.
Right.
Mm.
And they, like, it just, from that point on, it just went downhill. And it
Yeah.
wasn't a fast downhill, it was a slow downhill because it was like, oh, he's doing great today. He's doing this, he's doing that. Um, where he's up, he's talking to us. And then I think the 23rd, yeah, it was the 20th, I remember it was the 23rd, December 23rd. The Christmas tree was up and I was wrapping the last of our gifts and the kids all of us sitting around, so we were like, we're just not going to open anything until Eric comes home. So my granddaughter, she was like, ping. She was like, well, I'm not going to open nothing. I said, nope, I'm not open nothing till Papa comes home. So she's like, okay. She's like, can I open one thing? And I was like, you can open one thing. And that was it. So Christmas Eve, we let her open her one thing. Um, and we just, like I said, just went on with normally. And I called the hospital. My schedule for the hospital was 9 a.m., 12 noon, 3 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock. That was my call. That was just our routine. That was in between them changing shifts,
Mhm.
getting things situated, setting up the Zoom so I could talk to them on Zoom so he could hear my voice. Um, I got the call. No, let me backtrack. December 25th, Christmas Day. I went, he's like, everything that you guys do, just kind of film it or, video it on the phone or whatever and send it to me. So I was sending the videos to his phone and so forth and so on. I was like, when he comes home, he'll have a whole bunch of stuff to look at. We'll open gifts, blah, blah, blah. That morning of the 25th, I told one of my friends, and she was like my prayer partner. It was, when I tell you guys, it was like I had the best peace. It was like I was so worried. I was like a ball of nerves and I was at such peace. Like it was just like a calmness had come over me, and I can never. It's really hard to explain, but I was at peace. My friend, who was is my prayer partner, She told me Eric had crossed over at that moment, but they didn't pronounce him until the 26th. And I was like, "What do you mean he crossed over?" And she was like, she said, Candy, your husband crossed over. And I said, yeah, okay. And I didn't talk to her for like a week. I was like, yeah, this lady is tripping. I was like, I don't have like, if you don't have nothing positive, they don't say nothing at all.
Mhm.
Um, so went on with, like I said, going with my day. That morning I was reporting to work, backing into the parking space. The call came in at 7:02. And the nurse, her name was Kristen. And Kristen was like, Shalay? And I was like, yeah. Then she said, Candy. And I said, what's wrong? And she started crying. I was like, what's wrong? And she was like, um, how fast can you get to Baltimore? Because she was at Baltimore downtown. It's called University of Maryland Medical System, downtown Baltimore. I was in Waldorf. So Waldorf from Waldorf to Baltimore is like an hour, 20 minutes, hour 15 minutes. It's an hour 15 minutes. Um, I said, well, are we going to be allowed to come in the hospital? Because this entire time, nobody can go into the hospital, but you can go out to a restaurant and eat. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I told her, I said, well, let me get home and let me call his kids. So I called his middle child, and I let her know what was going on. I didn't tell her that he had passed. I asked the nurse, could she keep him on the ventilator for face value for them? And she said yes. Um, I made it from Waldorf to Baltimore in 35 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It not speeding. It just was no traffic. Every light was green.
Mm.
It was just it was just in my favor, I'm gonna say. We got to the hospital and they were called Tyvek suits. We had to put Tyvek suits on and go in the room. So Eric was diagnosed with COVID in November of 2020. He went to the hospital December 3rd of 2020 because he had been in the hospital for longer than 2 weeks with COVID. They call it COVID cured, but they still made you put the full PPE equipment on. So because of the unit that he was in, which was a COVID unit, you had to put the complete Tyvek wear. So it's like these little white suits and stuff. So we had to have those shoe covers, the whole nine. These masks, these masks were just like, I don't even know how to describe this mask, but my nose hurt for like 2 days after I took that mask off. But that mask, like, was nothing coming in that mask at all. So when I got into the room, his hospital room, only the two of us in at a time. And I told the nurse, he has 4 children. So I was like, his children, everybody's here. And I was like, I'm not leaving the room. And it's not fair for me, it's not fair to have us come in 2 at a time. At this point, I think protocol can be broken.
Yeah.
So they allowed all of us to come into the room, and his brother, he came a little bit later, maybe like 30 minutes after we arrived. He was there, and they just gradually took him off the ventilator. His son actually was in the room with us, and they, Corey and Eric were like Siamese twins, I guess you could say, and Corey really took it bad, of course, and I'm trying to stay strong for them, and I'm just like, I don't even know what to do. It's like, because I got people have passed in my life, mom, my mother, friends, etc. But my grandmother, but your husband, that was, that's like your right hand. That's like cutting your right hand off, pretty much. So I didn't really know. It was like I was numb, and I was like, I was having a whole out of body experience. Like, this is not me. I was like, something is going on. This is really not happening at this moment. And when they extubated him, he made they told us he was gonna make this gurgling noise. And when he made the gurgling noise, that was from them, deflating the balloon and pulling the tube out, he coughed. But when he coughed, his eyes opened. And Corey was like, no, my dad's not gone. Like, he's opening his eyes. Like, I feel his hands. His hands is moving. I was like, Corey, I said, your dad is gone, sweetheart. He was like, he's not gone. He's not gone. I was like, Corey, your dad is gone. I said, I wouldn't lie to you. I said, I've never lied to you. I said, your dad is gone. I said, put your hand on his chest. And I said, his heartbeat is going to gradually fade away. And I said, watch the monitor. And then as he was watching the monitor and he had his hand on his chest, the poor child just lost it. And he ended up having like an asthma attack at the hospital. And it wasn't like, death is never good for anyone, but Eric was, and I always say, and I'm saying it because he's my husband, but Eric was a very special person. It was just something about him. And even, he worked at the University of Maryland for like 13 years. And to this day, people still have good things to say about him. And that's not like very common at that university. But they, like, you've never heard anything bad about him. It's like, oh, he was just such a good guy. He would give you the shirt off his back. He would do this. If you didn't have it, he would make sure you had it. He was like, if some people didn't have lunch, he would always share his lunch. If he had a whole sandwich, he would give you half of it. If that wasn't enough, if you want the rest of it, he was just that type of a person. That he just had that aura about him. He was just a giving person, a very giving person.
So, Candi, the last time you saw Eric was just before he was diagnosed with COVID?
The last time I saw Eric, he was diagnosed with COVID in November. We went to patient first. He was diagnosed then. And back then, they quarantined everybody. And so it's like whenever one person got quarantined, every time a new symptom came about, you have to start the quarantine over. So Eric had it initially, then Jimmy, my brother, he ended up getting it. Then Brittany got it. Brittany came over to bring us juice. And I told her, I was like, just leave the juice on the porch. You don't have to come in the house. And I want to come in the house. I'm okay. I got a mask. So she ended up getting it. She lived like 10 minutes from me. So she got it. Then she comes back to my house crying, I got COVID. And I'm like, well, why are you here? We all had, like, everybody in our house had COVID. Like, it went through the whole house. The only people, when Eric was diagnosed, Alexis and Ping went and stayed at a friend's house. Jimmy had it. And Brittany, like I said, she came back to the house. So she ended up staying there with me. She had it. And I never got it. Like, I was in and out the room, sitting in the room with Eric, talking to him, holding his hand, downstairs making sure Jimmy was okay, because Jimmy has lung issues and COPD, emphysema. So I'm making sure he's okay. Like, I'm running around the house like with a chicken with my head cut off. Not that I wanted it, but I never got it. And they just kept
Right.
swabbing me. I'm like, you're not going to keep swabbing me because my nose hurts. Like, you're just not going to keep doing that. If it's meant for me to have it, I'll have it. We'll just,
Yep.
kumbaya this out of the house. But I'm not getting my nose swabbed any longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every time then the health department would get that call, if there's any new symptoms, push this button. If there's any of this, push that button. And at the
Wow.
point, yeah, so after a point, I just stopped pushing buttons. I was like, I'm never gonna get out of the house. So I'm like, I'm not gonna push nothing else.
That's
Um,
crazy.
Yep, the last time I physically saw Eric, where I could put my hands on him was December the 3rd. And that's when he went out the house by ambulance. And I followed the ambulance
Wow.
to the hospital. And he couldn't go into the hospitals then. And he was like, well, you can't come in.
Mm.
I was like, well, that's fine. I was like, I'll just sit in the parking lot because I just knew he was going to go. He was going to get a breathing treatment and they're going to send him back out the door. No, he got admitted. He was doing good. He was in ICU. He put up a Facebook post like, I'm finally out of ICU, thank God. And it just I'm not gonna say it went downhill. It started gradually taking that turn into that curve, air quotes, of what the doctor was telling us and the nurses. I went to the hospital. Like I said, I couldn't get in, but because I worked at the hospital, one of my friends worked there. She's like, I'll meet you in the parking lot to take him a plate upstairs. So I was just saying food, like from the initial time that he went in December 3rd, I was just like fixing the plates, but he had no appetite. Like I think Eric was more freaked out and scared and paranoid than anything because all he knew was death from COVID from his mom and his dad. And then like you heard all the stuff on the news and it was nothing positive about the outcome of COVID. And then for them to put you in a COVID unit and all you hear is code blue. This person's dying, this person that's dying. Then you see the bodies being wheeled out to the morgue after they wrap their bodies and such.
Wow.
That's kind of takes a toll on you mentally.
Yeah.
And then you're there by yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he had gotten delirium. I called Eric one day before he got on the ventilator, FaceTimed him, and he had this look on his face. And I was like, what's wrong with you? He was like, I feel like I'm in outer space. I said, what do you mean? And he was like, he's like, I just can't describe it. And he just kept like taking his hand and putting it like in front of his face, like he was moving in slow motion. And I was like, are you okay? And he was like, yes, I hung up. I was like, well, get some rest and I'll, check back with you in a little bit. He was like, okay. He hung up. Well, I hung up on him. I called the nurse. I was like, what are y'all doing to him? I was like, if he's waving his hand in front of his face, are you giving him medicine? Are you giving him this? Are you giving him that? And just like you said, he was by himself and was experiencing delirium because of the oxygen fluctuating by yourself, like isolation, like really like an isolation type of thing. So the only contact he had with people was nurses, and he didn't really get to see them because they were covered from head to toe.
Wow.
So you got people coming in Tyvek suits, PPE equipment, and all that type of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, they really had no contact with anybody at all.
Wow.
That's
Yeah, so
scary.
it is. And the last time I saw him was December 26th. Yeah.
Jeez. So tell me, how did you
get to where you are today? Like, how did you deal with your grief? And I know you purchased a house, you got your master's, your doctorate. Like, how did you keep moving?
I never really grieved. And I can honestly say, like, I've just never stopped. And I think I never really stopped because I didn't want to deal with it. I had to plan his funeral over a Zoom call because you couldn't go to the funeral home. So I had to plan his plan his funeral with the funeral home over a Zoom call because you couldn't go there you really couldn't go into places. Had to coordinate with the cemetery because they threw that back to our responsibility to coordinate a date and a time because you couldn't have so many people in areas. But I honestly can say I never grieved. So then I started writing my book of grief, and it was just perseverance. I like pushed through, and I'm like, this man gave me everything. Anything that I asked for, I wanted a new truck, he went and bought it. Whatever I asked for. The only thing that he never gave me that I asked for, which is within reason, was a horse.
Wow.
Next
And he
time,
was like,
You can keep that one to yourself.
A horse.
Yeah, I wanted a horse. And he's like, where you gonna put it at?
For
He's like, we
real.
live in a townhouse. I was like, you want a
Exactly.
backyard. So
Wow.
yeah, no horse. That was the only thing he never that's the only time he ever really told me no. He was like, no. I was like, no. No. What is this foreign language you speak?
Do you feel like you dealt with it? Like, do you feel like you still need to deal with it, or do you feel like you're still running?
No, I actually think I'm dealing with it a lot better. When I wrote that, my book isn't finished because I keep stopping and like putting my thoughts together. But writing that book and journaling has really helped a
Yeah.
lot in therapy. And then it's actually someone I actually spoke to somebody who was dealing with grief, and she was just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And she was just like, she said, I just want to go be with my husband. I want to go be with him. And I was like, why do you want to go be with him? And she was telling me, she's like, I want to go be with him. She's like, because I don't have nothing here. I said, you have a lot here. I said, you have, you have your kids, even though they're grown, you have your children. I was like, even though he's not here, I said, do you really think he would want you
Right.
to do something like that? And here I am telling her that, but that's the same thought that I have. Like, I don't have a
Right.
purpose here. So, and I told her, I was like, there's been many a times, I didn't even like I just kept every morning I would wake up and I would get mad, like, why do you keep like God, why do you keep waking me up? Like just let me alone. Leave me be. You like I have no purpose here. Like my world was centered around Eric, like from time my feet hit the floor until the time I went to bed. So like I went to work, you work, we went to work together, we worked at the same place. So we drove into work together, we drove home together, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
And I was telling her just yeah, I sort of said, you don't see it now because it's the beginning. I said, but keep taking those steps every day. And I was like, what is something that you and your husband wanted to do? And I said, even if you can't complete it in full, start it,
Yeah.
no matter what it is. And I told her, I said, one of the things that Eric wanted was a house with a flower bed. Why he wanted flower beds, I have no idea because the man did like yard work. And I searched and searched and searched. And when I finally found this house, it had 2 flower beds right in the front. Okay, well, there you go. He wanted a house because we had always rented.
Yeah.
And he said growing up, he's like, we never had anything solid growing up. And he was like, we would, him and his mama and his brother, I guess I don't know because I never really got the full story, but he said we were always getting evicted and we had to go stay with family members. I just want something of my own.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. The townhouse that we were living in before he passed, we were in the process of purchasing it. But because he passed away before we were able to purchase it, we were cleared to close December 28th. He passed December 26th. So I had to start the process all over again.
Yeah.
And I told the guy that I didn't even want the house anymore because I just didn't, like, I didn't want anything. And I didn't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have probably
So,
wanted somewhere new too. It's too many memories.
and it was like when you came down our steps, it was a landing right there. And that landing, Eric would come down the steps and stand on that landing. And when you stood on that landing, you could see into the living room. And my computer desk was right there. And he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, and I always would tell him, like, I'm planning to take over the world. So come on down and help me. And yeah, so it was just, you have to find, I'm not gonna say what makes you happy because at this point you're not happy, but look at something that look at something that your spouse would want to do
Yeah.
and you push on that. He wanted me to finish school, so school got finished. He wanted me to get a house, I got the house. So then it's like, now what? And then it's like, well, you got to push on because you got to pay for the house. So
That's
put all your
true.
stuff there. Yeah,
You
put all
do.
your ducks in a row and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Life is hard
Life is
sometimes, but you
life.
make them. Yeah, life is life. And people say when they throw lemons at you, when life throws lemon at you, you make lemonade. No, you don't just make lemonade. You set up a stand and you open a corporation
That's
and have a
right.
business. Yeah.
Yes.
Back in the early COVID days, it was rough. It really was.
hmm
People were dying left and right. It's so crazy. Now that I think about it, like think about COVID back then and COVID today, like I don't understand why everybody was dying. Like it just, I mean, I understand the people that had comorbidities or had, issues already.
Perfectly healthy people.
Yeah, like that's just unless I don't know, but it was
They,
definitely crazy.
they just didn't know how to deal with it. And then it's like every time something, Dr. Fauci? He was just getting
Oh
discredited
yeah,
left and right. And then it's like who um the White House at the time, the political surroundings of this, they
yeah,
were just like it's a falsehood.
it's
It's this,
fake. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So nobody
yeah,
was really taking it real. And you had
yeah.
people
Mm.
that were,
Except
let's
for
not,
the hospital people, they took it for
yeah.
real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. One of my friends, her daughter was in New York and she was a nurse, and like she ended up quitting. She said she just couldn't do it anymore. She said they're taking
yeah.
a mental toll on her.
It
And
was.
they wouldn't
Yeah.
go ahead.
Sorry, do you go ahead? I'm interrupting you.
She she said she couldn't do it. So her supervisor said, I'm not gonna let you quit, but we'll do FMLA.
Yeah.
And so that's what she did. And then she just took a leave of absence, and she still hasn't gone back to nursing.
Listen, in New York, COVID was ridiculous.
It was
Like
bad.
I couldn't do it in New York. I was scared to go to New York.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
New York doesn't even have any patient ratios, so you could have like 20 million patients. Like
Mm-mm.
I would never, I would never go to New York, and especially
And
around
then
COVID, it was
the
bad.
governor literally was on TV every single day, like
Yeah,
giving, the whole, what was it, Comey?
Mm-hmm.
New
Yeah.
York
And
was
begging
scary.
for ventilators.
Yeah.
And like,
Mhm.
it just, like,
New York was scary.
New York was just
Yeah,
like
there was
almost,
no way. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
couldn't
It was
understand that one.
bad.
I couldn't
And nobody,
understand none of it, really.
Yeah.
yeah, it was like nobody really understood any of it. And it was just like it just popped up on the scene. Um, I think honestly, it was a flu that was like 2019, and it was that flu that's like that we have this rare strain of flu,
Yeah.
and it's like taking out the elderly and so forth and so on. I honestly think that was the beginning of it. They
Oh, I'm
just
sure.
didn't know.
It was.
Hmm.
It was
Definitely.
population control.
Definitely. Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Okay, so I am so glad that you've done so much since then because, death is hard. My husband, I have never experienced a death so close. You know what I mean? Like we have had people die in our family. We get it, but like, your husband, he's like,
Not
I
your
don't know.
everyday support
Yeah.
system, like you're somebody you see so
Yeah.
close.
That
Yeah.
is just, so, I got much respect and love for you, girl.
Thank you. Yeah, it'll make or break you. I will say that some
Mhm.
people don't. It's really mental. Because it can take you down that rabbit hole, but it's what you want. And we come from, honestly, and I'm not just saying it as cliches, we come from a very strong background of women. Grandma Amber and Harriet and Bernice, like Aunt Grandma Dora, like them women was something else.
I feel like all of them. I feel like all of them died early. Like I feel like
Very early.
my dad's side of the family, everybody is like dead.
Yeah, they it's poor health. A lot of them didn't take, like, I know, I can speak for my mother and my grandmother. Like they just didn't take care of themselves health wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like if they got an ailment, it was like, okay, I'll deal with it later. And later never came. And when later came, it was too late.
They were dead. Yeah, like it's
Hmm.
crazy.
Like I remember grandma had a heart attack hanging curtains, and
See?
she refused to go to the doctor because she had to finish hanging her curtains. So
Which
I was like,
is
what?
crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it is so crazy.
Hmm.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Very much
I'm
so.
glad we're not hard headed like that.
No, I sneeze and I'm going to the doctor. Like something's not right. That's not a normal sneeze. That
Right?
came out wrong.
Jeez. But again, I really do. You're a strong person.
Yeah, very strong. And I didn't know that you were in prison.
Oh my God,
Let's
yes.
just move on to the
Yeah,
prison.
I just want to know a little bit more about who Candi was before your grief.
And what the heck happened?
Candi
Unless you
was a
don't want to talk
pistol.
about it.
Oh man, no, Candi was a pistol.
Was she?
Candi, Candi, like I'm third party. I honestly say I tell folks, be thankful you met me at this age and era because I was not a nice person.
How old
Very
were you when this was going on? Like, tell
in
me.
my in my 30s. In my 30s. I
Damn.
Wow. Really?
yeah. I was sheltered as a child. Like my mother didn't let me do anything. Like, and it started, like I had my first child at 15, second one at 17, married at 18 to my first husband. And it was, that was a jail sentence in itself, being married to him. And then I got out of that and fell into the trap of somebody else and got out of that. And it's just like, okay, you know what? It was fight or flight for me. And I'm not gonna run off. I'm a fighter. I'm definitely a fighter. I have a really bad temper, and I went to jail for a felony assault.
Who'd you beat up?
Um,
You don't have to tell them
so
if you don't want to.
I can't. Well, no. I used to not tell people stuff and tell the story because it was like people are judgmental, and I would tell people like I would go to I've been to prison. They would just like clutch their pearls and grab their purse. Like, lady, I don't want your pearls or
For
your purse.
real.
You know, if I, it's things happen. You know, and I always tell people sometimes you're in your own prison in your mind. So think about that. So I went to prison because I ran someone over with my car.
Oh my God, you was gangster.
Wow.
Yeah, my husband had cheated on me, and it was like, okay, I already know this. So this was like insult to injury, and then you're gonna harass me, and it was inevitable. This was inevitable. It was either gonna be a fist fight, a
gunfight,
fight, or something.
Wow. And you chose to just run around, huh?
I was in the car. And what was crazy, I had walked out of the store. Like I've avoided the situation at all costs. I walked away. I told her, I was like, just let me be. Just let me go about my business. It is what it is. And he don't want you. And the typical.
So she came at you. Okay.
She came at me. Okay. And I had Brittany and Lexi were little. And I had Brittany with me. Lexus was at home, but I had Brittany with me. And I saw Brittany get in the car. She was in elementary school. I said, get in the back seat, put seatbelt on. And the girl stood behind my car. And I was like,
I would have hit her too.
Yeah. We see.
Wow.
Yeah, I probably would have.
And she wouldn't move. And then and I blew the horn. And I was like, you gotta move. I was like, please just get out from behind my car. That's all I'm asking. She was like, no, if you want me move me.
Yep.
When she said that,
you moved her.
Yep. And it's just like, I was like, you really disrespected me from beginning to end.
Yep.
And followed me around this store. I'm trying to leave and avoid this whole situation. And so I got in my car and mashed the gas and ran her over.
Did you kill her?
No, she had a lot of damage.
Damn. Okay. Just joking. I'm sorry.
And then the police officer asked me why I hit her twice. And I told him,
twice?
Well, I backed over her because I had to back out the space.
And you had to run back again, huh?
She was in the park, so I had to go forward to go put my car forward.
Oh, yeah. She was gangster.
Yeah. So, and they were like, you just left the scene. And I told them, I said, then they kept asking me, well, why did you leave the scene? I take my child home. I had to fix dinner. Like, life went on for me.
Oh, wow.
At that point, like, and they asked me to, so as time went on, of course, you get locked up in the detention center. There's stages to jail, y'all. Don't go, but there's stages to jail. So you get locked up, you go to the detention center, then you go to jail, and then you get sentenced.
Yeah.
My initial sentence was probation. So I was on probation, I was home. So I ended up getting locked up because I violated my probation. I did community service. I paid restitution because I had to pay for a hospital bill. So I had to pay restitution. Going to work, paying probation fees, doing everything that I'm supposed to do. I see her mom, and her sister. Waldorf is very small.
Yeah.
At the time, so I see them in the store. She don't say anything to me. She says nothing to me. She just looks at me, but she points. And her sister is just jaw-jacking, and her mother is co-signing. And I guess they feel because I'm on probation that I'm not going to do anything. Everybody caught the fade. Everybody caught the fade. The mother and the sister. And she got it too. And I was like, just because you pointed at me. And it's just like, I'm not proud of it now because I think about it now. It could have been handled a lot different, and I could have walked away from that entire situation. But me back then being the hothead that I I've always had to defend myself.
Yeah.
Like I've always been that. Like I've always had to defend myself. I've never, even with my mom, I've always had to defend myself. Like no matter what it was, it's like my mother was very passive, and she's like, just ignore it, just ignore it. I'm like, how much do you want me to keep ignoring?
Yeah.
Like, what more do you want me to ignore? So, like, I've always had to defend myself. So it's just after a while, I think it's like the pot on the stove. It like boils over eventually.
Yeah.
And you just get tired of it. Growing up back then, it's kind of looking at like you were a child, you can be seen but not heard. You can't express yourself, and it's like even though you're mad and upset, you can't express it. So those kind of things kind of hang down deep in your belly, I want to say, and in the shallows of your life. And then as you become an adult, it's like, well, I'm an adult now. You can't tell me what to do. I can do this, I can do that. And then when you get angry, kind of like the Incredible Hulk per se, it's just like you wouldn't like it when I'm angry type of thing. And that's what my mentality was. And it's like I had no problems with putting my hands on anybody, anywhere, anytime, church, grocery store, wherever we was at, you was catching it. And it
Candy,
just, hmm?
I have a question for you.
Sure.
With what happened, do
Hmm.
you feel that that is part of the reason why you felt like the black sheep, or was that before this incident?
That was before.
I'm about to say,
The,
I'm sure it was before because Candy is gangster.
the black sheep thing comes from, I've always been the kid, even though we're supposed to be seen and not heard back in our day, I've always been that one. I'm gonna say what I need to say. And whoever it is, I just don't like my lips have been, I'm surprised I even still have lips. Yeah, they was always getting stung up, but I've always been that person that go against the grain for everything, and I challenge everything. This just because you say it that way doesn't mean it has to be that way. Why do we do it that way? Because I said so. Why do you say so? Like, there's other avenues to do things that way. Um, I don't want to say. Well, I will say, Aunt Harriet was kind of racist. If you didn't pass the brown paper bag test for her, you
Really?
weren't welcome. Yeah, you weren't welcome in that
Wow.
house. So,
Really?
hmm
But Bernice lived there and she went the pound. She didn't pass the brown
yeah,
paper. Was she mean to Aunt Bernice?
she was. She was very much
Wow.
so. Yeah. Aunt Bert, your grandmother, Aunt Bert was a nurse, but then she went to work for the Bureau of Engraving. But Aunt Bert would give you the shirt off her back. With Aunt Harriet, she would give you the shirt off her back, but it would be stipulations, sign this contract, that type of thing. Aunt Bernice was just
Wow.
kind of quiet through it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
remember
she was
that.
the baby. She was very quiet through it all. But Aunt Bernice lost a lot voice wise when her Uncle Bernard, which was her twin, when he passed away. And she just kind of went, Aunt Bernice just became a different person after Uncle Bernard passed.
Mm.
But yeah, Aunt Harriet was, hmm
Wow.
hmm
Wow.
so Mickey went to stay with Aunt Harriet. Um, and I think that's where a lot of the separation, and because my sister and I, we're close, we tolerate one another. I'll say that. And I'll just leave that there. But I think that's where part of it comes from.
I
Um,
Mm.
remember Mickey being around when we were little.
mhm. So, and I never understood, like, how are you going to, it's like picking puppies. Like, I want that puppy. So,
Mm.
how are you going to pick one child out of 5 kids to stay at the house? And then as you get, you don't see it when you're little.
Little. Yeah, because
Yeah.
clearly we ain't see it.
Yeah. And then when you get older, it's like, huh, okay. Now I see.
So
Um,
if my dad would have been dark skinned, he wouldn't have been so freaking spoiled.
no, your dad would have been spoiled regard. Um, my grandmother spoiled your father.
Girl,
My grandma,
everybody spoiled him.
and it was grandma.
Except for
Grandma would
Bernice. Aunt Bernice
mm,
did not.
no. Grandma wouldn't let Rocker couldn't get spankings. Like grandma would pick him up and don't touch him. Like if you went to touch him, like it was a fight with her with him.
That's
Like she
crazy.
wouldn't let. Yeah, no, you couldn't touch him. And then I think it hadn't been a baby in the family for so long.
You think that's what it
Um,
was?
More than likely. And Raka and Bernice had a love-hate relationship. Uh,
Wow.
it was funny. It's not a bad thing. It was just funny. Uh, Bernice was hanging clothes. I don't know if you ever heard the story. She was hanging clothes up on a clothesline, and Raka shot her with a BB gun in the
Oh,
butt.
oh my gosh. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Wow.
your dad was a
A
Like,
pistol. I know.
yeah. And this, I was telling Mickey, I was like, the couple times I listened to your podcast, I was like, Sherry is her father's child. God knows.
They used to call her Little Rocker.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Rocco was a character. I remember the night that he passed, him and Aunt Bernice had they were arguing over gravy. Who made
Wow.
gravy better? who made who made gravy
I
better?
cannot see him. I just can't see that.
You can't see what?
Your dad arguing over who made gravy better. I don't know. I can't see that.
It was funny. It was so funny. It was like he told Aunt Bernice that her gravy was too thick. She told him hers was too runny.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it wasn't like a heated argument, but it was just like
yeah.
Right.
it was
Yeah.
just hilarious though.
Yeah.
And they both could cook. Like they
Yeah.
really could cook really well. But it was just funny. I was like, over gravy?
Right?
Okay.
That is so
Okay.
funny.
I guess it's like the potato salad thing at the cookout. So.
Right? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to get on my dad. Just when you were talking about the color thing, it just kind of remind me because anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes you think about things. It's like be glad that you're born on the right side of the spectrum.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think it gives children a better chance at life sometimes. I know I was the black sheep of the family, and I didn't even care, but it's like you do things you feel like you're doing things to not get the attention, but to show them like I'm not this person, I am this person if you give me the opportunity. So it's like you become a people pleaser in
Yeah.
essence. And after a while, it's just like I'm not pleasing. Like if you see me for what I am. And then when I got pregnant with Alexis, it was like, oh yeah, she's really really a black sheep of the family. And then to turn around and get pregnant again at 17 with Brittany, it was like, well, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Wow.
Yeah.
Like this is like nothing uncommon because back in the day they was having kids with 13, 14,
Yeah,
and 15.
they sure were.
Yeah. And I was like, I finished school and my girls, and it's like the statistics state that if you have a child at a certain age, your children it's a repetitive process.
Right.
They become a product of the environment. Both of my
Exactly.
girls have graduated school and gone on to be greater and better things. So yeah, it's not necessarily that either. It's what you make of it and how you push and what you instill in your children.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't shelter them from things. And I know that's one of the things people would always, well, you let your kids see everything. Yeah, because I couldn't see or do nothing. So I want them to see it. I want them to experience it. I don't want to shelter them from things. I want them to make their own decisions, their own choices, instead of having it shoveled down their throat. And this is what you have to deal with.
Man.
So when they become adults, they're not just like when they're actually reached the age 18, then they're not just standing there looking like,
what do I do?
So yeah, now what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, you put it in a noun. It seems some people from the outside looking in, some people are, that was kind of rough. Well, for you it was, but my child hasn't called me 30 times a day to ask me how to fill out a tax form either, and where yours
Right.
So,
Well, dang. Well, you know what? It was great listening to you, girl. You got all kinds of gems. I need to talk to you more often.
yeah, we used to do family reunions. They just kind of stopped, and I told Jimmy the other day, I was like, the cookout that we were planning, I really want to do that cookout, but again, when he got diagnosed with Jimmy was diagnosed with lung cancer, and it was like stage 4. They had us like so worried about this man, like he's going to go any minute now.
Yeah.
Jimmy's still smoking, and Jimmy's still swimming. So
you know what? Those kind of people be killing me.
Wow.
So Jimmy, he need to straighten up.
Man. But you know what? I think if Jimmy stopped smoking, I think it would actually...
He'll kill.
Yep.
Faster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because his body has built up to that tar and all that stuff. And it's like, I told him, I was like, I think I pray to God more for you than myself. Trying to, then I'm like, you'll be the one, I'll be stroked out at NRI trying to get myself together, rehab and learn how to read again and walk. And you'll still be out here doing the same thing. So, yeah, sometimes you got to let go and let God. And that's what I've done with him. Because he still want to smoke.
I agree.
And I'm just like, that's fighting a battle that you're never going to win.
Yep.
So.
I agree. 100%. You are so right about that. So.
Yep, and just leave it be. and just leave it be. Mhm.
Thank you.
So, in closing, we're
Mhm.
gonna leave one more thing. We just want to know in closing as we close this up, um, how do you feel about your life in this moment? Like after
I am
everything.
beyond proud of myself because
Amen.
if you don't clap for yourself, I don't care what it is. You can just get up and put a roller in your hair, right? That's my roller. I did it right. Clap for yourself because you're not always going to have that. Some people look for validation. I stopped looking for it a long time ago. A long time ago. I've just learned to celebrate myself in every little thing. And the biggest accomplishment I can honestly say is um, I've gone from DOC to a PhD, and there's nothing that nobody can ever hold over my head. You can
Nope.
say it. Like it used to bother me when people, oh, you've been to jail. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Don't go in the summer because it's hot. That's my tip to you.
Girl,
You
you
know.
crazy.
But yeah, it's just like you celebrate your own accolades. I
Heck
don't
yeah.
like I said, it's the smallest thing. I don't if you just bake the chocolate chip cookie, anything, celebrate it. Nothing is too small anymore for anybody to celebrate. Nothing.
Y'all hear that?
Be proud of
I
yeah.
love
So
it.
I'm proud of
I
myself
love it.
every day, no matter what it is.
When I'm around here celebrating my new booty, I want to hear
Oh
everybody
my
go.
gosh.
Oh my gosh.
You're
Stupid.
getting a new booty. Yay.
I'm getting a new booty and
This
some
new
breasts.
booty now.
I don't
I think you got enough booty already.
Or you can just celebrate what you got because you're more than enough. That's what I
Exactly.
heard.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
you
even
can
know.
still get some more breasts, but I think your booty is fine.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I did
Sorry, Candy. I made it about me.
it's okay. It's okay. I did the weight loss surgery um oh my God, years ago. And the weight's still off of me. But what's crazy is like I don't have saggy skin, but the boobs went away. That's crazy. 'Cause I was like really well endowed.
See.
And I don't know what happened.
Yep.
I
Wow.
don't know what happened. I don't want a breast implant or anything, but if I don't, but your fat, my fat is gone. So it's like they don't have any fat and I don't have any extra skin, but I do want my fat. I do have like a pouch that I want gone. If I could get rid of that thing, God almighty.
Push
It's
it
like
up
a
into your
speed
breast.
bump.
No, Clay.
Man, yeah.
Oh
No,
God.
So funny.
do what makes you happy. That's what I tell everybody
Exactly.
nowadays.
Yep,
Do what makes you
exactly.
happy.
Yeah.
And them breasts gonna make me happy.
Oh
my
my
Yep.
gosh.
And take pictures of before and after and post them every day. Yep.
No, just the after, and I'm gonna be naked.
Yep.
What?
Because
Oh
you
my
pay good
gosh.
money. Yeah, because you pay good
Amen.
money for
And
them.
tell them they don't
Yeah.
know why they don't understand.
Girl.
These things expensive. It's like driving around with a Cadillac on your chest. You
Man,
better take
what?
pictures.
And it sure will be.
Yeah.
Hey, mommy, you want to say hi to Candy?
I don't think she can hear you.
She can here. Get here.
Hi, Candy. How you doing?
I'm good. How are
She
you?
said she good.
Good,
How are you?
Fine. When you gonna come see us?
When we go see her.
I-
She said when you coming to see her.
Oh, you know what, Candy? It probably is better for you to come here. One person
Yeah.
versus how many of us?
Too
Oh
many.
yeah, we're a whole busload.
Most definitely. I definitely will come soon. I think I was well in the text messages. I was like, I need to get down. I was like, because I keep saying I'm
Yeah.
coming and I never go nowhere. Go to work and come back home. So
Yeah.
definitely soon. I just
Yeah.
told Mickey, I was like, come ride with me. She was like, every time you tell me come ride with you, it's 2 hours later, we're getting back home. So yeah, definitely soon. Definitely soon.
All right. Well, we love you, and I'm glad you came on. And
Thank
and
you, Candy.
To share your story. Yeah.
I know I love the one about you hitting people with cars.
Oh my gosh. She is definitely your family. But you need to bring her up where you're at because she's still way behind.
What do you mean I'm way behind?
You want to hit
You
people with a
still want to run somebody
car.
over with a car, and she's past that. She's beyond that.
Oh yeah, she is. I'm not.
No, we're
I do pick them, and
And
I
if
pick
if
the
somebody's
hits.
standing behind your car, call the police. Get her
Mhm.
arrested.
Unless it's your husband. Well, oh no.
No, I ain't messaging
What were you
nobody.
getting ready to say? Unless it's your husband.
I ain't messaging nobody. Anyways,
Oh
thank
my
you so
gosh.
much for coming on here and sharing your story with us.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Candy. We
And I'm-
love you.
Yep, we really do, Miss Black Sheep.
Think we lost her.
We love you, girl.
Yeah, thank you so much. And
Okay.
so with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this episode with Candy, you could leave her a message if anything spoke to you guys. We want to hear from you guys too, because we love hearing from our audience. So definitely go to 3BWUnfilteredpodcast.com and leave us a message.
All right.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Love you, Candy.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Candy, we love you.